Hey everyone, this is Dayu from EcommOps. You probably heard about this already, about how Christmas in 2021 is going to be a huge mess for physical retail stores and anything with US or local fulfillment because of all the supply chain and port issues with sea freight. And there's a lot of people, an article saying that you should be starting to buy your Christmas gifts as soon as possible, even before Black Friday, to avoid stores and local fulfillment running out of stock. In this video, we're going to talk about why this is happening, why I personally don't think it's unfortunately getting any better. However, why this is a positive thing if you are fulfilling from China. Let's get started. Alright, so first let's talk about why this is happening. So some context here. Most traditional retail, whether it's physical stores or even large e-commerce brands that fulfill locally from the US, from local warehouses, they depend on sea freight in order to get their goods around the year, and especially for Q4, especially for holiday sales. Now, there's two issues that have been happening this year in related to the COVID issues that have been lingering on. First issue is that sea freight prices have been incredibly expensive. I mean, just look at this chart right here. On average, they're like 8 times more expensive. And you see that dip at the end? That's not necessarily a good thing, which we'll talk about next. The second issue is that not only is sea freight really expensive this year, it has been seeing increasingly delays of 3-4 weeks, sometimes more. So remember that dip that we just talked about? Well, the only reason why the prices have been dipping, it's because by the time that you watch this video, it's already too late to ship by sea freight because of all these delays in time to get it to US warehouses in order to deliver by Christmas delivery. I'm not gonna go into the details of why this happened in this video. I'm gonna link to a video below where it talks about all the issues that have made this occur throughout the year, and it's only getting worse. So these issues mean two things. One is that some products literally could not be shipped by sea this year. A lot of products are relatively low margin, and when you see the prices that expensive for sea freight, literally retailers may not have enough margin for it to be worth for them to ship using any method, air or sea, because of all these raising prices. So there's just going to be some products that are not actually shipping out into the US. And the second issue is that because of all these delays, the cutoff date for getting on a boat to the US in order to make it in time for Christmas delivery, again, it's already too late. So normally speaking, during normal years before COVID issues, you could get on the fast boat from Shenzhen into LA probably near the end of November, maybe the last 2 weeks of November, and still make it safely in time into the US in time to deliver all your products for Christmas if you actually fulfill it. The problem though is that this year, well, right now when you're watching this video, it's gonna be the end of October. It's already too late. Like, literally speaking, we've been talking to a lot of freight forwarders, and they are telling us that by the end of October, and obviously any later, is going to be too late to be safely getting your goods into the US, getting your goods into the EU in time for Christmas delivery if you use local fulfillment. Now, there's been a lot of news recently about President Joe Biden trying to resolve the issue somewhat by pushing for changes in the port and in the process. The biggest one is that he's been pushing for 24/7 hour operations at the port to try to relieve this backlog. There's so much backlog of ships and containers, and that's what's causing the delay. Now, that sounds great, but the reason why I don't think that that's really going to solve the problem is that the Port of Long Beach, which is one of the busiest ports in the US, one of the most important ports in the US, that has been already running 24/7 for like about a month now, and the backlog is not changing. It keeps on increasing as more freight arrives and they can't catch up. And the other problem is that just solving things at the port doesn't solve the whole problem, because even if the ports run 24/7, there's not enough trucks, there's not enough rail capacity then to move those containers, those products into the fulfillment centers. And trust me, not every fulfillment center is in LA. Fulfillment centers are all around the country. And even if your fulfillment center is in LA, there's already even a shortage of trucks to get the products even to a couple hours away in around the port area. Now, even if there are enough trucks and the ports are running 24/7 and there's trucks going all over the place, fulfillment centers are not set up to run 24/7 either. I mean, there's no possible way that the government can mandate all fulfillment centers to run 24/7. The problem is, if they don't run 24/7, they can't actually receive the products. So you're gonna have trucks that are they're trying to arrive, but they're not actually even dropping off. And actually, a lot of truck drivers are actually refusing these kind of pickoffs because they know that there's no one to receive them Sunday at midnight. So unfortunately, I mean, it's impossible to know the full impact of all of these delays, all these issues on the Christmas sales season, but a lot of people are predicting that there is going to be stock shortages. A lot of stuff is going to sell out even before Black Friday, and just a lot of people are going to potentially go without Christmas gifts. Now, I think that's obviously an extreme. There's obviously always something that you can buy to give as a present to your friends and family. And this is where the somewhat good news comes in if you are an e-commerce store owner, if you are drop shipping or fulfilling from China. Obviously, if you are shipping directly from China, then these port issues don't really affect you that much. And if they do affect you, it could very much be in a positive way. So for a couple of reasons. The first reason, as we talked about, there's a lot of fear that there are going to be stock shortages for products through the holiday sales season. A lot of media outlets are telling you to try to buy your gifts even before Black Friday. Black Friday usually is the big peak season for discounts and buying gifts, but a lot of people are saying buy it as soon as possible, even buy it now in October. What does that mean? That means an extended holiday sales season. Actually, we do see a bunch of clients already scaling up in this period a little bit earlier than we would usually expect for Q4 sales. And part of that reason is because of that earlier demand for products during this holiday season. Even if things don't actually run out, the thing is there is this fear, and that leads to people buying as early as possible. The even more positive thing is that if you're fulfilling directly from China, use something like Unexpress or 4PX, for example, you're just completely bypassing the port issues. You don't depend on sea freight, which means that you're going to have much longer that you're able to actually sell when potentially other retailers with local fulfillment are literally just going to be out of stock because they couldn't get it here on time. Now, to set expectations, every single year, the last shipping date from China for Christmas always changes a little bit, and we definitely expect this year to be a little bit slower than usual given all these COVID issues and the supply chain issues. However, we're still talking about like maybe the first week or so of December that you could still ship out from China using something like the Unexpress Express line to the United States and the main European markets and UK. So you have a lot more time to actually sell your products compared to some local fulfillment store that just, never got their products in time in the first place. Now, keep in mind though, we do expect Q4 shipping prices from China to continue to increase, and I expect that they're going to increase a little bit more than usual years because of that probably increased demand for air freight and increased demand for these China shipping lines. However, I do think that if this is something that happens, if local fulfillment centers do run out of stock, local stores do run out of stock, then the economics are completely different because you're not competing then with local delivery. You're literally competing with stuff that just can't be sold, stuff that is actually out of stock. So do expect that there's going to be a little bit slower shipping at the end. It's going to be a little bit more expensive, but I think that this is going to be a net positive situation. Now, what about competition with other China dropshippers? This is where if you know what you're doing, if you're pre-stocking, if you're using the fastest, most efficient shipping lines, then you have a huge competitive edge over someone who's dropshipping from AliExpress who doesn't have all these benefits. I mean, during Q4, like using something like AliExpress Standard or e-packet or anything else, like you're gonna see like 4-week shipping times, and we're even longer if the seller is not processing it very quickly. So you have a huge edge on them as well, because if you're using the right shipping methods, you can potentially sell until the first week of December, and that's a huge difference. But hey guys, money and business aside, I do want to just say that Christmas is such an important holiday for most of you out there. Christmas gifts are also important, so I really don't feel happy about this port situation that might cause a lot of issues. However, one positive that I do see out of this is that at the very least that brands shipping from China have a solution to be able to send products to customers if you do it the right way, so that they can buy from your stores, they can buy great products from your brand, so that they can actually get Christmas gifts on time, again, if you do it right. But I will emphasize, you have to do it right. You have to plan your marketing right. You have to plan your projections right. You have to plan your inventory correctly, pre-stock if needed. Make sure that you work with a supply chain partner who can navigate this for you. Make sure that you can work with them to pick the correct shipping methods that can actually get there on time. Otherwise, you're gonna face a lot of unhappy customers anyways, and that's helpful for no one. And if you guys haven't checked it out already, we have a free course, by the way, and there's some modules on here on Q4 China supply chain planning. So link to it below. Make sure you check that out to plan ahead if you want to take advantage of this opportunity. And if you're looking to scale in Q4 and you want to work with EcommOps to make it happen, we're happy to do so, but talk to us now, because at some point very, very soon, we're going to stop taking in clients for Q4 because it's going to be simply too late. All right, well, I know it's not the best situation. However, there is a silver lining in all of this. Make sure that you follow our Facebook group. Make sure that you like and subscribe to this channel. We're going to keep you updated with more information, and make sure you navigate this Q4 as smoothly as possible. Thank you guys for watching. Again, this is Dayu from EcommOps. See you guys next time.